Thank you, Dan. Good evening once again. And it's difficult to be optimistic if you're a Barnsley fan at the moment. The feeling of promotion dissipated rather quickly when a number of key players were allowed to leave, and they've not been replaced with players of an equivalent quality, and as a result, results have been very difficult in such a ruthless division. Daniel Stendel lost his job very early on. Adam Murray, it seems, is only keeping the seat warm, and they're facing a Bristol City side here tonight who have been very, very good at the start of the season. As you said, only 2 defeats, one of those against Leeds on the opening day of the season, and you look at the strength of their bench, Neil Redfern, and the Barnsley starting 11, and there is an almighty chasm.
Yeah, and the experience, I mean, that is the most important thing, and the competition for places. I think Barnsley have made a good fist of the last 3 games. I have to say that the performances have been really good. They need a little bit of luck to get a victory, I think. But I look at Bristol City and they've got real strength in depth, and I think that is key at this level.
Well, the two sides making their way out at a fairly sparsely populated Oakwell. The lowest crowd of the season was in the previous home game against Swansea, around 12,500, and I would be surprised if there are as many as that here this evening. A reminder of the two teams again. Barnsley with 2 changes from the side which lost a key game at the bottom, 2-1 against Huddersfield last week. Wilkes and Halme both returning, McGeehan and Anderson making way. It is Collins in goal, Cavade, Diaby, Halme and Sibic the back 4, Dougal and Mowat holding in midfield, with Chaplin just in front of them and Brown and Wilkes either side of Woodrow. And the depth of the Bristol Rovers squad indicated by the return of players like Callas, Masengo and Watkins. Interestingly, Marley Watkins up against his former club. His last start for Bristol City was 14 months ago. The players to make way, Baker, Palmer and Rodri. They would walk into many teams in the Championship, and they are all on the bench. It is Bentley in goal, Moore, Williams and Callas the back 3, Pereira and Rowe in the wide areas, Masengo, Brownhill and O'Dowda in midfield, with Watkins playing off Vyman in attack. The 2 benches for you for Barnsley: the goalkeeper Sam Radlinger, Mads Anderson, Cameron McGeehan, Luke Thomas, Patrick Schmidt, Clark O'Dore and Elliot Samoish. For Bristol City, it is Nicky Mayempa, Bailey Wright, Nathan Baker, Nicholas Eliasson, Casey Palmer, Antoine Semenyo and Rodri. Adam Murray making his way to the Barnsley technical area, and you're the ideal man to talk to because you've been in his shoes. You were the man who kept the seat warm on a number of occasions at Leeds United, and of course you got good results, but it will be difficult whatever happens when the change is made, if it's made.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he can only concentrate on the job in hand, and I think he's done that really well, Adam. He's organised them. Like I said, he's got a tune out of this side. They're playing well enough. They just need a little bit of luck to try and get over the line and get them points on the board, because the longer it goes on and the more that you're down there, it becomes harder and harder to get out of trouble. But he's got to keep them upbeat, he's got to keep them playing well, he's got to keep them positive, try and keep the back door shut if they can. Looks like the change of formation is with that in mind, and he's not been frightened to change it, which is really refreshing for a young guy in charge.
On the other side, Lee Johnson is sat the row behind us here in the main stand, serving a touchline ban for Bristol City. Will that make any difference? Well,
he's got good staff, and they'll have done the work through the week. I mean, Lee's a really experienced manager now. I mean, I think he's done a fantastic job at Bristol City. He did a good job at Barnsley while he were here, and I think that he'll be interested to see how his side performs tonight, because they're expected to win. That's a different type of pressure, but I think that his players are capable of getting a result.
For Bristol City, with 3 wins, 3 defeats and only a single defeat away from home. That was 3-0 at Luton, the match which resulted in Lee Johnson having a touchline ban for comments towards a match official following that match. They drew 2-2 at home to Wigan last week. They were rather fortunate to get the result, and maybe at the moment they are just beginning to scratch around a bit, because they beat Charlton, which was a big result, but they were slightly fortunate to do that.
Well, they are, but it's a good trait, that they're being fortunate coming out at the right end with the results, and you'd rather be like that than the other way. Again, it's the nature of the Championship. You're going to have dips in form, you're going to have losses, losers of players as regards injuries and suspensions, and it's how you deal with it as a group, and they're in quite a good place at this moment in time, Bristol City.
Well, it's Barnsley who will get the game underway in their red shirts, white shorts and red and white hoop socks, playing away from the Pontefract Road end to our left-hand side. Bristol City in all black, and the footballing weekend is underway once again here on TalkSport 2, the home of the EFL, and it's a big game at the top and bottom. Barnsley against Bristol City, and it's Cavade who looks to burst down the far side, the Barnsley right a couple of challenges, but not the third that it will be. A throw in to Bristol City. They can move level on points with West Bromwich Albion if they win here this evening. Barnsley, of course, level with Stoke City at the bottom of the table, and Stoke, of course, will soon be under new management, and their match this weekend at home to West Brom is live on TalkSport 2 on Monday evening. And we welcome listeners to TalkSport here to Oakwell for the TalkSport 2 commentary between Barnsley and Bristol City. We are inside the opening minute, and it's goalless as Bristol City win a free kick on the far side. This week TalkSport 2 will bring you Arsenal versus Wolves in the Premier League, as well as live Championship and NFL coverage. And a reminder as well, England's cricket tour of South Africa is exclusive to TalkSport 2. That starts on Boxing Day next month. You can download the app, swipe to the left to the orange TalkSport 2 logo and hit play, and you can listen online on your DAB radio or ask your smart speaker to play TalkSport 2. And it's a free kick on the far side for Bristol City, and Callum O'Dowda is over it, and this an early test for a Barnsley side who have shipped plenty of goals so far this season. Currently bottom of the table, and clean sheets have been a real issue. And the free kick whipped in towards the near post, headed away well, and the flag is up as the header was cleared by Diaby, and it will be a free kick. And the former Barnsley legend Neil Redfern is alongside me, and it's a difficult night here for Barnsley, isn't it, against a side in such good form?
Yeah, it is, but they're playing quite well at this moment in time, Barnsley. Like I said before, they probably just need that little bit of luck to get over the line. They've changed the formation around a little bit tonight. They've started as you would have thought. They've put the ball in Bristol's half. They've got up the pitch. They're pressing them. Bristol there with a little bit of a response with a free kick that was cleared easily. But it's going to be a tough night, yes, because Bristol are a good side.
And it's Bristol City who are looking to build on this near side, and they sweep into the penalty area with Pedro Pereira. A low ball in towards the near post, and it breaks kindly for Weimann. His shot though was blocked, and it spins away towards this near side, and it will be a throw in to Bristol City. And Pereira, the Portuguese player who scored the late equaliser against Wigan last week, will take it. And there is movement from Watkins and Weimann. Weimann makes the run towards the right-hand side. His cross in towards the near-post area goes behind, and it will be a goal kick. Commentary of this game on TalkSport 2, and with nearly 3 minutes played, it is Barnsley 0, Bristol City 0.
Yeah, a bit of a cautious start from both sides. Barnsley trying to make their way into Bristol City's half, but they look really relaxed and composed at this moment. Bristol City look a good side, well balanced, looking to probe and put the ball down the side of Barnsley and get in behind with the runners, and but nothing in the game at this moment in time.
And Barnsley look to come forward now. It's headed forward by Chaplin towards Woodrow on the edge of the penalty area. Chaplin goes through, but he handled the ball before he was challenged right on the edge of the box by Brownhill. And our referee, Jared Gillett, the Australian referee now operating in the Championship, had a decision to make and went for handball.
Yeah, it's an interesting one really, because he did ever so well there, Chaplin. He's a real live wire, busy, bright player, got a little bit of pace, and he got in behind Bristol City there really well.
Now an opportunity for Watkins to burst into the penalty area down the right. Brownhill with the cross into the penalty area. It's controlled at the far post by Rowe, and his shot is blocked by Kenny Dougal, and it spins behind for the game's first corner.
Yes, interesting there. Pereira involved in that on one side. As the ball comes across, it's the opposite wing back Rowe coming in at the far post. Not frightened to throw bodies forward, Bristol City.
And they work the corner short towards O'Dowda. Down the left-hand side, he will try and break into the penalty area. The cross is not cleared, and then the shot is fired towards goal by Pereira. And Barnsley again are able to smuggle the ball away before it's played over the top quickly by Rowe and straight out of play, and Barnsley will have a throw-in by the corner flag in the right-back area on the far side.
Yeah, they'll want to try and get through this opening exchanges with a clean sheet, Barnsley. They've made a decent start. Bristol do look composed. They have had the better of the possession. But like I said, there's nothing in the game so far which will probably suit Barnsley at this moment.
Masengo clips it forward towards the edge of the Barnsley penalty area, but The home side are able to clear again, and it's Dougal who has a really important job alongside Mowat in the engine room for Barnsley tonight, potentially outnumbered in the midfield area. Chaplin will have to try and help them out, but Mowat's on the ball now, and he's found Dougal, and it's quickly worked towards this near side, and Sibic. And now an opportunity for the cross to be delivered high into the penalty area by Brown, and it's a challenge from Pereira at the near post area, and Barnsley have their first corner with 5 minutes played on TalkSport 2, and it's still goalless here at Oakwell.
Yeah, all the joy for both sides has come in wide areas. Again, this ball out to Brown, it's really well worked out, and goes on the outside. Brown tries to get his cross in, but it's good defending, and the ball goes out for a corner. But a chance here for Barnsley.
Barnsley so far have shown plenty of spirit in the opening minutes, and they'll need plenty of that the longer the evening goes on, you feel. And it's their captain, Alex Mowat, who will take the corner. Chaplin has come short, but Mowat ignores him. It's in towards that near post area, and it's headed away unchallenged by Pedro Piera, and it will be a throw-in for Barnsley. And it's rather quiet and subdued inside Oakwell at the start of this game, with 6 minutes played. A couple of hundred Bristol City fans have made the long journey from the West Country to South Yorkshire as Woodrow looks to turn and cross on this near side, but he's outnumbered, and it's quickly cleared away by Callas, but recovered by Brown on this near side. Brown with a good ball to pick out Chapman. Chapman's low cross deflects behind off Brownhill, and Barnsley have another corner.
Yeah, he's looked really lively in these opening exchanges, Brown. It's a good ball out to him again. He starts to take his fullback on. It's a great little ball down the side for Chaplin, and Chaplin again twisting and turning, forces the corner, but Barnsley looking really bright.
Jacob Brown scored their goal in defeat at Huddersfield last week. Chaplin again comes short, but it's Mowat with a high ball this time, and the header is over the top, and Barnsley had plenty of height inside the penalty area, and there was a deflection on the header as it went through. I think it was Bambo Diaby who was rising, and it's a corner now for Barnsley on the far side there right.
Yeah, such an athletic leap that, Nigel, from Diaby. I mean, he was hung in the air for a good few seconds there as that ball came in from Mowat, and he's unlucky because the header just deflects off the top of Callas and goes out for a corner at the other side.
And this time it will be an in-swinger from Mowat again, high into the 6-yard area, nodded clear at the near post initially, and then Bristol City will clear it longer downfield, but it's quickly returned over the top by Sibic, and some very neat control inside his own penalty area from Callas. He turns and clears. Now it's flicked on by Masengo, looking for Vyman, heads in field for Watkins, but he's quickly challenged by Diaby, but Bristol City have it back. Excellent ball from O'Dowda, wide to Vyman down the right hand side. He will burst into the penalty area, but he's held up by Apo Halme, but the Finns' clearance is a poor one. Pereira's cross into the penalty area is blocked again at the near post by Dougal. Here is Masengo with that shock of brown hair, the former Monaco player. He goes all the way back to the halfway line, and Callas, and then further back towards Dan Bentley, defending the Bristol City goal away to our left hand side. 8 minutes played at Oakwell on TalkSport 2, and it's Barnsley 0, Bristol City 0, but enterprising start from both teams. Pereira's header on this near side is cut out by Sibic. He tries to play it in behind Ashley Williams, but the Welsh international, a very experienced customer, and his ball forward has found Vyman. A low cross in towards the near post. It was Watkins with the cross in the end. Vyman unable to control, and Bristol City will have to do some defending of their own now as Brown plays it forward towards the halfway line, but it's cut up by Masengo. But now Woodrow takes over for Barnsley on this near side, and O'Dowda with a challenge on Mowat just in front of us here on the halfway line, and it's a free kick for Barnsley, taken quickly by Dougal, but Williams steps in on this near side ahead of Chaplin and volleys it out of play for a throw-in to Barnsley. 9 minutes played, 0-0. Now Brown fighting Chaplin again. Mowat with a high cross towards the far post, but it was some way beyond Wilkes, but it will be recovered by Cavani on the far side. But there's an excellent recovery challenge, and now Brownhill will look to burst forward over the halfway line. He believes he was blocked off by Diaby on the far side, but the referee disagrees.
Yeah, to be fair, I think it's a fair challenge. He just comes across there. Diaby uses his strength, makes it difficult. Brownhill reacting really well to that loose ball in midfield and driving Bristol forward.
Now Dougal with a deflected pass forward, which Williams will guide back towards Bentley, and he clears long downfield. Barnsley with 2 draws and a defeat since the change of management, and Adam Murray very much in temporary charge, judging by his interview we heard with Graham Courtney before kick-off. But two very good results. A 1-1 draw here against Swansea and a 2-2 draw away to the leaders West Bromwich Albion, but they did lead 2-0 in that game. And then that 2-1 defeat to Huddersfield, and there's no question they are a team at the moment who are benefiting from the new manager bounce, as Brown comes forward now for Barnsley, down the left-hand side, cuts infield beyond Pereira, fires in the shot right-footed, blocked by Callas. Now Cavani will side-foot the ball into the penalty area, and it's Taylor Moore who lunges across to head the ball away, and Barnsley have a throw-in level with the edge of the Bristol City penalty area.
Yeah, it's that man Jacob Brown again that's causing the trouble out on this left-hand side, coming in on his good foot, his right foot, linking in with the front. It's a good effort that's blocked, and Cavani reacts really, really well from his right back position to get a crossing. Forces the corner on the throw-in on the far side,
And it's Cavani who will loop a long one high into the penalty area, and it's headed on and gathered by Bentley right on the goal line. It was Apo Halme, the young Finnish defender signed from Leeds, who got the run at the near post and was just unable to get enough loop on the header.
Yeah, set play seemed to be a problem for Bristol City at this moment in time. They've got the height at the back, you wouldn't have thought so, but with Williams and Callas and Moore, but Almy getting a free header there, and the keeper's backpedaling. He just catches that, or classed it just underneath his crossbar. But looking dangerous from St Clair's Barnsley.
And the Bristol City fans are still making their way into the stadium. It is a long, long way from the West Country to South Yorkshire, particularly on the motorway network on a Friday evening, and there are 4 Bristol City flags of St George draped across the empty seats in the stand away to our left-hand side. The Bristol City fans only occupying the top left-hand corner, and elsewhere around the stadium there are plenty of empty red seats, even in the Ponty end away to our right-hand side, which is traditionally the most vociferous area of Oakwell when things are going well, as Williams knocks it back towards Bentley, who clears downfield as Mowat looked to close him down. And now Wilkes losing out on the halfway line for Barnsley, and Bristol City win it back again here with Watkins, spins infield behind Sibic, finds Masengo, back towards Watkins again, but it's a good challenge by Mowat right in front of Adam Murray, and he whirls his arms around to indicate he wants more tempo and maybe more noise from the crowd.
Yeah, it's quite subdued at this moment in time. I think the game's it's not flat, it's a decent game, but there's not been much goal-mouth action.
Watkins almost links up with Weimann on the edge of the Barnsley penalty area, but Toby Sibic, the signing from AFC Wimbledon, just nudges Weimann away from the ball and clears on this near side, and Pereira will take the throw-in. The player on loan from Benfica. There is a very cosmopolitan look to the Bristol City side these days, of course. Thomas Callas, the Czech Republic international, signed from Chelsea. Pedro Pereira and Noah Masengo, another big money signing from Monaco, a player with Champions League experience. Now O'Dowda on the edge of the penalty area, brings the ball down well on his chest, but needed support. Eventually he finds it, and Pereira now with an opportunity to cross down the right-hand side back towards O'Dowda, who fires in the shot, and it's gathered well by Collins at the near post.
Yeah, we just saw Barnsley's frailties there. That's too easy, Nigel. That's one 60-yard ball that goes in behind Barnsley that Weimann brings down and brings people into the game, and they've got to be more diligent at the back if they're going to keep a clean sheet tonight.
Nearly 14 minutes played at Oakwell. You're listening to Barnsley against Bristol City in the Championship on TalkSport 2 with Screw Fixes. Ticket Tuesdays. Enter the draw every Tuesday at EFL.com/Screwfix competitions to win tickets to your local EFL team. T's and C's apply. 0-0 at the moment, but Bristol City just looking to have more quality moving forward, and that's no surprise. They are the side who could join West Bromwich Albion on 27 points this evening. 6 wins, 6 draws and only 2 defeats so far this season. Barnsley with that single victory on the opening day here against Fulham, and now 13 games without a win, and they are closing in on a 60-year-old record set in 1959 when they failed to win in 15 games. And they're a side who were shorn of so many big name players from last season, Adam Davis, Kiefer Moore, Liam Lindsay. The spine of the team was taken away, and so far, on the evidence of what we've seen and what the locals have seen, they have not been adequately replaced. So bearing that in mind, it was a very harsh sacking of Daniel Stendhal.
Well, and these boys are having a go. You can see that, Nigel. You know they're having a right old go. They've gone toe to toe with Bristol City in these opening exchanges. They do look a little bit fragile at the back. There's probably a little bit of nerves in there, you would have thought, because I'm pretty sure Adam Murray will be banging on about clean sheets and keeping things tight at the back. But it's not as easy done as that in the Championship.
And they've got players, the players who are here, they're players who were used to getting forward. They were on the front foot with the high pressing game they enjoyed in League One against players who clearly aren't of the standard of Bristol City and many others in the Championship. And if you've got that mindset, if you're suddenly not back, it's difficult to cope with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I witnessed Barnsley against Brentford early on in the season, and they pressed the life out of Brentford for 25-30 minutes, got themselves in front. It was fantastic to watch, but that's difficult to do for 90 minutes.
Andreas Weimann on the chase now down the right hand side, tries to hook across into the penalty area for Bristol City, but it drifts high over the top into the Ponty end, and it will be a goal kick for Barnsley. And we should have goals here. 4 of the last 6 between these two have finished 2-2, and in the most recent meeting here, that was the scoreline when Josh Brownhill scored an injury time equaliser for Bristol City when Barnsley were on their way down to League One. And of course they bounced back in spectacular fashion with 91 points last season. But they are a team who have tended to bob between League One and the Championship in recent years, and they've had 4 changes of division in 6 seasons, a bit like Wigan, of course. They survived last season under Paul Cook, and they look to be building blocks to head in the right direction now, and Barnsley need to maybe try and emulate that as Mowat gathers on the halfway line for the home side, and he's got support in field but goes all the way back towards Collins, who now hooks it downfield, and both Brown and Woodrow will chase, but it will beat them both into touch, and it's a throw in for Bristol City.
And that's as it seems, Nigel, that's a decent ball from the goal. I know it's a clearance from Collins, but it goes in between the outside centre back and the wing back, which is a real vulnerable place for a back five. And if Brown's on his toes there and he's looking for that, he's in.
Hooked forward now by Brownhill over the top, and Weimann will chase, but he was outnumbered by Diaby and Halme, but still forced the hurried clearance straight out of play on this near side, and it will be a throw-in for Bristol City. Pereira will take it, and we can hear the Bristol City fans away to our left-hand side, but at the moment Oakwell is rather resembling a fairly gloomy place. The fans are here, but they have the body language and the mindset, it seems, of a set of fans not expecting too much.
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, I think that you can't wait for the supporters. You've got to get them going. And at this moment in time, it's a decent contest. There's nothing much in it, but it probably just needs a little bit of life adding to it from Barnsley's point of view.
18 minutes played, 0-0. Woodrow does well to beat Masengo in the air, and then Chaplin hooks it back in field towards Woodrow, and it's a terrific ball from him wide towards Chaplin down the left hand side. Woodrow looking for the early ball into the penalty area, but Taylor Moore did really well to backpedal and get the clearance, but it's Wilkes again for Barnsley in the central area, finding Mowat looking for movement ahead of him, finds it from Brown on this near side, the left. Sibic makes the run on the overlap. Brown comes in field, finding Chaplin, and now Mowat once again, but it's all rather congested for Barnsley on the edge of the penalty area, but there's still an opportunity here. Woodrow's shot is blocked by Moore, and then Brown works it wide towards Cavare down the right, and a high looping cross, it is deflected into the arms of Bentley.
Yeah, good phase of play by Barnsley. Kept it alive really well in and around that attacking third. Mowat really heavily involved. And we just saw there Conor Chaplin is such a live wire, so bright when he comes into little pockets and turns and gives little give and goes with people. And all the players just coming to this side now. There's been an injury to a Bristol City player. I don't know if it's...
Well, it's not Taylor Moore who made the clearance.
Yeah, it was somebody who got in the way of a rasping shot, to be honest with you. I think it's more of a knock than a twist. So they'll probably be back on their feet, but good spell of play by Barnsley. I think it's at this point in time now, Nigel, when there's a little bit of a lull in the game, if you can just get yourself a little bit of a head of steam up, get the opposition on the back foot, you can start creating 1 or 2 opportunities, and that's when you get yourselves in front. But like you say, it's been a really cagey affair so far.
Well, Adam Murray is getting right into his players on this near side. We played nearly 20 minutes and it's goalless here at Oakwell. And I keep thinking that the Bristol City management team, Scott Murray and the rest on the bench, they're looking round at you, but of course they're looking at Lee Johnson, who is sat in the row behind us, so I'm not quite sure what he can do from this sort of range.
Yeah, they look, Bristol City at this moment in time, like they've just not clicked into gear yet. They've shown real quality when they've got down the sides and they're prepared to go in behind, and they've worked the ball in good areas, but they just look half cock a little bit at this moment in time.
Well, the player who was injured has his back to us, but he is back on his feet. In fact, it's Josh Brownhill, the player who went down.
He's been in the thick of most things, Nige, in this opening exchange. He's a good player, good servant for Bristol City.
And he was loaned to Barnsley from Preston before making the move to the West Country. I remember seeing him score the goal which kept Bristol City up down at Brighton a few years ago. And he's somebody who has never let Lee Johnson or his team down. And there's been a fairly high turnover of players at Bristol City over the past couple of years, but he's not been part of that.
No, the thing is with Brownhill, what he gives you is that experience and that game understanding, and his game management's fantastic from that midfield position, and it gives Bristol City a real foothold in the game. And
he's only 23, but you're right, he's got miles on the clock. He's been around for a long time.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, I mean, he's a real quality player for them.
Wyman now coming back with a couple of scything challenges to win it back for Bristol City in the central area. Now Pereira comes in field from the right, and it's a terrific ball back towards Wyman, who tries to get the shot, and he was off balance. It was blocked initially by Diaby, but there was momentary panic inside the Barnsley penalty area before Halme hacks it behind for a corner.
I tell you what, that's where Wyman comes alive. He's so bright round the box. It's a great little give and go. It's Pereira stepping in, who's looked really good from this right wing back position. Just plays a little ball down the sides of Diaby, and he gets across well, the big centre half, to block in the end. But it's such a bright run from Wyman. You can see why he gets his goals.
Just starting to drizzle here at Oakwell, and as we're in the front row of the main stand, you notice it when it sweeps in, as it so often does. Corner from O'Dowda, high towards the far post. Halme again rising to nod the ball away as the rain becomes ever heavier, and it's hooked back into the penalty area by Callas, and it's blocked by Sibic at the near post, and it will be another Bristol City corner as Josh Brownhill returns to the action.
Yeah, again a good spell of pressure by Bristol City, kept alive in and around the box with good quality link play.
And I wonder if they are thinking about a change, because a member of the backroom team has the tablet out. A high ball into the penalty area from the corner. Halme again wins yet another header. Brownhill tries to hook it back towards the box, but he loses out. Barnsley almost break, and now Halme with a very careful volley clearance towards this near side. He's found Brown, and the flag is up for offside against Mowat, and it will be a free kick. Antoine Semenyo has been having a long conversation with a member of the Bristol City coaching team on this near side, and I just wonder if Brownhill's problem may not be longer lasting.
Yeah, I mean, he's cautiously making his way around the pitch, Brownhill. It'd be a big loss if he does come off for them. But like you say, they're definitely getting the subs geared up and ready.
Ashley Williams now plays it out from the back for Bristol City. So firework goes off somewhere around Oakwell. There's another as Wyman plays it forward, and that's a terrific ball to pick up Pereira down the right hand side. First time cross into the penalty area, and it's Diaby again who steps in before Pereira to make a telling clearance inside the 6-yard area.
He's a good player, Pereira, Nige. He's got forward brilliantly on this right hand side. It's great awareness to put the ball inside the defender for Pereira, but what a ball into the box, and great defending by the big man Diaby.
And now Pereira with a long throw into the penalty area. Halme just seemed to use Watkins as a ladder inside the penalty area, but he won the header, and Bristol City have the corner.
Yeah, they're just starting to look a little bit more menacing now, Bristol City. Look like they've got their act together a little bit more. Got Barnsley on the back foot, but Barnsley defending well.
And it's a corner on this near side again for Bristol City, and it's O'Dowda who will take it. Masengo completely unmarked on the edge of the penalty area, but O'Dowda dicks it in. Diaby with a powerful header away. Chaplin, the only red shirt anywhere near the ball, but his header deflects kindly into the path of Mowat, and now Wilkes is away down the right hand side for Barnsley. Only Chaplin inside the penalty area. Wilkes goes himself, and the shot not too far wide, and it took a deflection on the way through, and if that was the hand of Daniel Bentley, that's a brilliant save.
Yeah, it is a fantastic save by Bentley. Again, it's the dangerous Wilkes on the right hand side, cutting on his left foot.
And the corner's played short towards Mowat. Back towards Chaplin inside the penalty area. High to the far post. Wilkes looking to rise with the header, but he got rather underneath the ball. And it's cleared away as far as Cavani down the Barnsley right. Back again towards Dougal, but his cross was quickly closed down as a result. He was off balance, and it sliced high into the empty seats behind that goal. But Barnsley here on the break, showing up well with 25 minutes play, but it's still 0-0 here on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, it's a great reaction from Mowat initially. Picked the ball up from a poor defensive header and drove and just slipped the ball into Malik Wilkes. And if you look at Malik Wilkes and how he gets his goals, that's the perfect trait. He's coming in off the right hand side onto his left foot, and he just opens the ball up and curls it in at the far corner. But it's a great save from Bentley.
Malik Wilkes, one of a number of former Leeds players involved now in the Barnsley team, as Halme is challenged by Watkins, and Adam Murray convinced he should have had a free kick, as a bit of smoke is now mixed in with the drizzle on the far side as the fireworks go off in fairly close proximity to Oakwell, as Wilkes will now chase down the right, and he's done well to keep the ball in play. Taylor Moore could have a problem here as Wilkes looks to break into the penalty area. Low cross seeking out Chapman. It's blocked by Masengo, and eventually it will be cleared away by Tommy Rowe on the far side. But Bristol City looking rather uncomfortable here when Barnsley get the ball into the wide areas.
Yeah, he's having a problem, Rowe, with Wilkes, because he's really positive when he runs at him. And if you look at Malik Wilkes, I mean, he's such a powerfully built player, really direct. He's definitely causing Rowe a problem.
And they are playing with wing backs, but Tommy Rowe is more usually an attack-minded player, sort of left-hand side of midfield rather than left wing back possibly.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, it's that area of uncertainty for the outside centre-back in the three and the wing-back, you know, who picks him up when he does come inside. And he's done it quite well, Wilkes.
Now Brownhill losing out in the midfield area to Mowat, but Masengo picks it up and he scoops it over the top, seeking out Weimann, but it bobbles straight through towards Bradley Collins. Don't forget, Game Day is back across the TalkSport network tomorrow here on 2. Full commentary of Wigan against Swansea. Big game in the Championship at 12:30, followed by Arsenal against Wolves. Russ Williams in the chair, live from the Emirates with John Motson and Perry Groves, your commentary team. On TalkSport tomorrow, Sam Matterface and Rashmin Chowdhury will bring you Bournemouth against Manchester City at 12:30. All the goals as they go in with Adrian Durham. And then it's Clive Tilsley and David Connolly with Watford against Chelsea at 5:30. A high cross into the penalty area for Barnsley here, and it's a header from Wilkes, and he was caught as he was hanging in mid-air, but no free kick was given, and the header goes just wide.
Yeah, I think he's got to do better with that, Nigel. Malik Wilkes. It's a great player from Cavani from right back. Little give and go with Chaplin, and just pulls the ball back but leaves it in the air, and it's slightly behind Wilkes, to be fair to him, but he's got to try and steer that on target. It's a good opening.
And there will be treatment for a Bristol City player again. It's not Brownhill again, is it, on the edge of the penalty area?
Yeah, it looks like it is,
Yeah, well, it's Eliasson who will be coming on, so the change will be made fairly shortly. Nicholas Eliasson, the young Swedish player who's been around at Ashton Gate for a couple of years, initially on loan, but now he will be given an unexpectedly early opportunity here with 28 minutes played on TalkSport 2, and to lose Josh Brownhill is a significant blow for Bristol City.
Yeah, it is a big blow, because if you look at Bristol City and their game plan and how it centres it, you know, with the three at the back and Brownhill dropping in to pick things up and start play off, you know, he's a real key figure for them in midfield, and like you say, Nigel, this is a big loss for them.
So Brownhill heads off towards this near side, and then he turns for the tunnel, which is in the corner away to our left, just in front of the Bristol City supporters, and it's Nicholas Eliasson who will come on, a player who is often used from the bench, scored 3 times in the Championship last season, and play will restart with a Daniel Bentley goal kick away to our left hand side. 29 minutes played. Goalless here at the moment at a fairly wet and subdued Oakwell, as it's headed clear by Diaby, but now he will have to backtrack for Barnsley as Watkins gathers on the edge of his own penalty area, and then he's given the ball away, and Cavade will try and bring it forward on the far side for Barnsley, but he's challenged by Eliasson, and his first involvement is to give away a free kick. You're listening to Barnsley against Bristol City in the Championship on TalkSport 2 with Screwfix's Ticket Tuesdays. Enter the draw every Tuesday at EFL.com/Screwfix competitions to win tickets to your local EFL team. T's and C's apply.
Yeah, just looking at the change, Nigel, it looks like Rowe's gone into that midfield position that Brownhill's vacated, and Eliasson's picking up this left wing-back slot. Whether they think that Rowe's going to give him a little bit more physicality in there, don't know.
Halme pings a ball wide to the far side, and Cavade now challenged by Eliasson, slid forward towards Wilkes on the edge of the penalty area. He's able to ride the challenge, and then it's fired in by Mowat, and it comes off the outside of the post and goes behind.
Great play by Malik Wilkes. Used all his strength and power there to hold the play up against Williams, who's a really experienced, powerful customer. Slipped the layoff off to Mowat, and it's a fantastic strike. It's a daisy cutter, and it's heading for the far post. It just flashes wide. Good play by Barnsley.
And Barnsley are asking more questions at the moment, and we could actually reach behind and ask Lee Johnson how he thinks things are going, but I'm not too sure we'd get a very full answer at the moment, because the side who are bottom of the Championship are working harder and showing more creativity than the team who would like to go joint top this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just shows you, I mean, when you're fighting at the bottom for points, you're scrapping, then you've got to compete with these sides. And I think they've just been a little bit casual. They've shown glimpses of quality, Bristol, but not enough at this moment in time. Diaby
does brilliantly by the corner flag on the far side to first juggle the Barnsley central defender and then produce a bicycle kick to clear his lines. And now Taylor Moore's clearance is gathered by Mowat inside the centre circle as Barnsley come forward again. Dougal wide to this near side, and the pass was behind Brown, but he's able to check back and gather. Now Brown will come forward down this near side, the left, a low scuff ball into the penalty area, fired towards goal. It's a brilliant save by Bentley. It was Chapman's effort on the turn, and Bentley somehow pushed the ball onto the inside of the post.
I bet Chapman is wondering what he's got to do to score, because that's heading for the far corner. And what a fantastic save by Bentley, diving full to his right to tip the ball onto the post. It's that sort of look that Barnsley need now, just to turn for him where that goes in the back of the net rather than hit the post and come back out.
Well, for the first time, we hear the Barnsley fans this evening with 33 minutes played on TalkSport 2. It's 0-0, but they are in the ascendancy in what is now very heavy rain in South Yorkshire. Masengo on the far side tries to pick out Eliasson, and that change actually might suit Tommy Rowe to play in the midfield area, because for Doncaster last season he was really good in that position.
Yeah, I mean he definitely gives him that physicality, and he gets about the pitch. Obviously that nous and game understanding that Brownhill gives him, he's going to struggle to give him that, but he's definitely shored it up in there, and Eliasson's going to use his pace down the outsides, obviously, but that's a bit of a wake-up call for Bristol City now, because that's a good effort from Barnsley, and that nearly put him in front.
Neil Redfern, who was Barnsley's top goal scorer from midfield when they were promoted into the Premier League in 1998, and also the top goal scorer during their sole season at the highest level of English football. And the rain now absolutely teeming down. The many supporters in the front row of seating in the away end, away to our left-hand side, are beating a fairly hasty retreat up towards the upper reaches of the away seats, as O'Dowda now looks to burst into the penalty area down the left for Bristol City, but is crossing towards that near post area, gathered well by Bradley Collins, the youngster on loan from Chelsea, in goal for Barnsley. Of course, Adam Davis was their number one last season, chose to leave. He's gone to Stoke and not even on the bench.
It's funny how football works, sometimes it's not always greener on the other side.
Well, Kiefer Moore, playing for Wigan, of course, his only goal this season was for Wales against Slovakia, another player who left. Now Brown coming in field, fires a shot in left-footed from this near side, and it was Callas who just got his knee in the way to divert the ball away to this near side for a throw-in. Yeah. And it's all Barnsley here, but they need to capitalise and find a way to goal.
Yeah, they do, Nigel. I mean, I just look at Pereira and I praised him in possession, but he's getting run ragged by Brown on this left-hand side here.
But it's a throw-in. And Brown will come all the way back towards the running track and throw it towards the near post. Pereira rises to clear. Sibic tries to head it back towards Jacob Brown, but he just slips as he tries to control the ball. And Bristol City will have a throw-in on this near side. 35 minutes played. 0-0. But Barnsley, much the better side in recent times. Masengo does well to step in before Cauley Woodrow, plays it back towards Rowe on the edge of his own penalty area. I'm not too sure Ashley Williams appreciated a pass inside the box with Connor Chaplin closing him down, but he does well to clear, and Halme will head it wide to this near side, and it will be a throw-in to Bristol City. And we are sat at the front of what is a really old school main stand here. Creaks a bit, wooden seats and a very old rusting metal structure. And there are some lovely touches around Oakwell which indicate how football used to be, and of course you were part of that. I'm not saying you're creaking, Neil, but
I am creaking, mate.
Things were very different in your time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, fantastic times here as a player. Such an affinity with the supporters and the club. Obviously good times for the clubs, and they're trying to emulate that now by getting the status in the Championship safe and kicking on from there. But they're definitely making a fist of it tonight. They've played the better football in the last 15-20 minutes, and they've created the better chances.
And when there's a break in play, we'll get Neil to tell you about the Ginger Cats as Mowat brings the ball away on this near side. Cavade losing out to Masengo, slides in, and the free kick's been given, and it's taken quickly by Diaby, and now Mowat wide to this far side, and Wilkes was almost away, but it's a good challenge by Taylor Moore, and Bristol City will try and break now. And it's O'Dowda, but he's had very little impression on the game heading towards the Barnsley goal, because he's rather been bypassed at times, and on this occasion he's forced to go backwards, and Dan Bentley will now try and clear the ball away up towards the halfway line with 37 minutes played at Oakwell on TalkSport 2. Charlton against Preston, another Championship commentary coming up this weekend at noon on Sunday, and that's followed by the Texans against the Jaguars live from Wembley as the NFL season really comes to the boil. Now Woodrow on this near side. Masengo's challenging him, but a back heel from Woodrow will pick up the run in field of Dougal, and then Woodrow takes a quick free kick. Wilkes looks to roll the challenge of Moore, who had hold of his shirt. Williams comes across to put the ball behind for a corner, and I think Taylor Moore was rather fortunate there.
Yeah, clever there, to be fair, Malik Wilkes. As that ball came into him, he got his body in against Taylor Moore, and he just rolled him round, and he got himself the wrong side totally, and he was nearly in on goal there, Wilkes. But he's looking a real dangerous character for Barnsley here on this right-hand side.
Alex Mowat will take the corner, which will be an in-swinger with 7 minutes to play in the first half on TalkSport 2. 0-0 at Oakwell. Everybody bar Eliasson is back for Bristol City. It's swung in towards Diaby. His header is blocked. Controlled by Chaplin on the edge of the box. Back towards Mowat again, but it was a poor ball telegraphed and cut up by Pereira. And Barnsley will have a throw-in on the far side. But they continue to press here. But it's a familiar story for Barnsley fans, particularly at home this season. They have good spells in games against teams right at the top of the table, 2-0 up against West Brom, but overall they don't capitalise.
Well, no, you're right, Nigel, you're spot on. I mean, the only good thing I would say from this is the score from the other side is 0, and they need to try and start keeping clean sheets. So it's a big plus from that point of view. The change of systems worked in that regard. They haven't fashioned much, Bristol City, and I think Barnsley have got to take credit for that.
Bristol City have already won at Derby, Hull and Stoke. 3 wins relatively early in the season. And some decent points at Preston, Brentford and Birmingham. Big game for them next week. Live on TalkSport 2 at home to, or rather away to Cardiff City in the 7-side derby. And there's always plenty of passion surrounding that fixture. And a pretty big game for Barnsley next week at home to Stoke. Whatever happens around the technical area for Stoke over the next week or so. But Barnsley here showing up well, but now Vyman on the chase for Bristol City on the far side, but Cavade cuts it out, and both Watkins and Vyman looking rather isolated up front for Bristol City at the moment.
Yeah, they've not had much support, they've not had much quality into them. You know, in the first 20 minutes they had good movement, good ball down the side, but they look lonely figures up there at this moment.
Cavade with a throw-in. Good distance as well, long down the line. It's allowed to bounce all the way through towards Woodrow, midway inside the Bristol City half, but Eliasson nips in with the challenge, clears it down the line. But Bristol City will have to defend again here, because it's Cavade who comes in field to try and lead the attack, but he's lost out to Masengo. And Masengo plays an excellent ball forward looking for Vyman, and that's probably a goal-saving challenge by Halme. Stretched out one of those long legs to just nip the ball away from him on the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, great interception. He's impressed me, Masengo. I agree with you, Nigel. He's shown some nice touches. It's a fantastic little ball down the side of Halman. It's his long legs that gets him to the ball first, but he needed to do it, else there'd have been an own goal there, Bristol.
Now a throw-in for Barnsley again, which Cavade will take, and they're looking to use his long throw to get them out of defensive areas, and Taylor Moore will just step in ahead of Woodrow on the halfway line, and it's another throw-in for Barnsley. So tell us about the Cats.
Yeah, the Cats. No, they were obviously in the office, or the old office, which which is just
around the back of the stand.
Back of the stand here, and we used to have to go pick his wage slips up from there. And obviously these cats were there on the top of this counter.
Two ginger cats.
Yeah, and they wouldn't let anybody pick the wage slips up, particularly Andy Rammell. They had a bit of a liking for him. I think he got scratched quite a bit off them cats.
But even you, club legend, you got pawed by a cat.
Oh, nobody was exempt, mate. Don't worry about that. They scratched everybody.
Why on earth did you have two ginger cats inside the Secretary's office? That's a question for another day, as Bristol City try and come forward here, and they look to win a free kick on the edge of the Barnsley penalty area, and there is going to be a yellow card, and it's Diaby, the player, who is penalised. There was a rather theatrical fall to the pitch there from Marley Watkins on the far side, and I think Watkins made more of it than there was actually there, and Diaby has been shown the yellow card and then throws the ball away, which is very unwise.
Yeah, you've got to be careful here, Diaby. I agree with you, Nigel. I mean, his dive, stimulation, he could have almost given that the other way, the referee. Definitely not a yellow card, and obviously it's incensed the Barnsley fans, the Pontefract Road end. But this is a good position for Bristol City. Free kick out wide.
Well, Jarrod Gillett had an interesting weekend 7 days ago. He was the VAR official who helped to disallow that late Arsenal goal against Crystal Palace in the Premier League, and he's shown a rather controversial yellow card here. But it's a free kick, whipped high towards the far post, nodded down by Williams, and it's in, and Bristol City take the lead, and it's the veteran Ashley Williams who scores his first goal for the club. It was a controversial free kick, but no doubt about the quality of Ashley Williams' finish, and Barnsley's season summed up in microcosm. They've been on top, they've not scored, and Bristol City have caught them out.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, it's shocking marking from the free kick, but it should never have been a free kick, if I'm honest. The referee's been duped there slightly, and what it's done is it's put Bristol City in a dangerous position to get a ball in the box, but the marking's got to be better. You've got to pick somebody who's dangerous as Williams up from set plays, and he's completely free in the 6-yard box, and he does well to steer his header down and into the back of the net, but really it's really disappointing from Barnsley's point of view.
Ashley Williams scoring 90 seconds before half-time, and that really is a hammer blow for a young team struggling for goals, struggling for confidence.
Yeah, it's just you're never a good time to concede, but just before half-time, when they played so well, created the better chances, been the better side probably, but you've got to be diligent, you've got to see things through, and you've got to pick up, and it's not a free kick, if I'm honest, but the referee's given it, and you've got to see it through.
Well, Ashley Williams turning out to be a very good signing for Bristol City in both penalty areas. I think many may have thought he was on his way towards retirement during his spell at Stoke City, having left Everton, but it's a good system for him here. It's one of 3 central defenders. He's got a bit more time on the ball, and he can orchestrate. He's got legs with Callis and Moore around him.
Yeah, and his experience is vital. And what he does is he knits things together from that central area. He's stepped in front a couple of times and used the ball well, just sat in front of midfield. He covers round the other 2 centre-backs. He's talking all the time. A really good signing for Bristol City.
Well, the boos continue to ring around Oakwell in the direction of Jared Gillett, the referee, as Barnsley look to respond. And there will be 4 added minutes at the end of the first half. Cavade's ball into the area. Mowat does well to gather, and he's forced wide by Williams. And in the end, Williams will be able to clear up towards the halfway line, taken down well by Eliasson. And now Rowe will slide it forward into the path of Watkins. Boos for Watkins after he won the free kick. Watkins continues towards the edge of the penalty area. There will be music to his ears. Now O'Dowda finding Pereira. And there is no warm welcome back to Oakwell for Marley Watkins at the moment. A Lee Johnson signing, but his actions have contributed to a lead here for Lee Johnson's current club. Now Brown heads away under pressure from Vyman for Barnsley on this near side. And the throw-in is given by the assistant after Barnsley took it. He clearly had no idea which way that was going, but Dougal picked it up first, so he got it.
Yeah, bless the linesman. Made his decision for him anyway.
Yeah. Now Bentley clears downfield, and yet again Barnsley have failed to keep a clean sheet. And they've conceded a goal at a key time, and they'll look back on not just that free kick but also the shirt pull on Wilkes inside the area. Now they do have a free kick, and it's Watkins who is penalised for the challenge on Cavade, and that looked like a make-up free kick to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going back to Bristol City and the goal, Nigel, is that, you know, we've talked about their form in recent weeks, that they've been lucky, but you know, if they keep on being lucky like this, they're going to find themselves promoted, and this is what happens sometimes. If you get to learn the Championship like Lee Johnson has, and his players are familiar with it, and he's got a way of playing, then you do get results when it's not so good.
Now Barnsley looking to build again, but the ball infield from Cavade on the far side is cut out. Now Vyman, full of running as always, on the chase, but Sibic will make the challenge, and the assistant again didn't seem to know, and this time gives it Bristol City's way. And Andy Vyman is having 1 or 2 words with a couple of locals from Barnsley on this near side, and Vyman suggesting that he need glasses, and I think they're suggesting to Andy Vyman that he needs 2 sugars in his tea at half time, or something like that.
Yeah, it did resemble that.
Now Halme is fouled by Watkins, and again there wasn't too much in that, and I think the referee is penalising Watkins now on every possibility.
Yeah, I mean, he's put himself about Watkins. He's been a real menace up there. He's made it difficult for both the centre-backs. Obviously his pace is really apparent, but
and even with Zizou in the team, Bristol City could look fairly lightweight at times. With Watkins, in all seriousness, performing that role, they look stronger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now Chaplin for Barnsley on the far side. There's an opportunity for Dougal to fire the shot in now on the edge of the penalty area. He does so, right-footed, but it swings high over the top as we head towards the end of those 4 minutes of added time.
Yeah, good little reaction from Barnsley, to be fair. Since the goal, they've got up and they've got back after Bristol City. Most of the players been in Bristol City's half. They just need a little bit of luck. They just need that little bit of luck to get themselves going.
Dan Bentley will take the goal kick, and his save, turning that shot from Chaplin onto the inside of a post, now looks even more important. And there's a problem here for Brown on this near side. He leapt to head the ball away, headed the ball into what used to be the players' tunnel here, but he gradually gets to his feet as Pereira throws it down the line. That is half time, and the boos are directed towards the referee and Marley Watkins rather than the Barnsley performance, because they were the better side in the first half. They created openings. The shot from Connor Chaplin turned on to the inside of a post by Dan Bentley, but just before half time, a free kick given for a challenge on Watkins by Diaby. It looked debatable, and a Larson's free kick headed into an empty net by Ashley Williams. So Bristol City lead at Oakwell by 1-0. Thank you, Dan. And it's Bristol City who lead here by 1-0, who will get the second half underway wearing all black, playing from right to left towards their supporters at the north end of Oakwell. And the home fans believe that they are very, very fortunate to be ahead. Barnsley could have been 2 goals up before the only goal 90 seconds before half-time, headed in by Ashley Williams. Dimitri Cavade losing him at a free kick, and the home fans believe that it was a very cheap free kick given for Bambo Diabe's shirt pulled on Marley Watkins. It was a foul, Neil, but it's the reaction, I think, which has annoyed really everybody, because it was unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, from here, it just looked like he threw himself to the floor. But, you know, if it's a free kick, it's a free kick. The referee's given it. The bit that bothers me from Barnsley's point of view after that is you've got to pick up. You've got to pick up.
You can't be ball watching in the 6-yard box, can you?
It's a key moment in the game, Nige. You know, you're looking at just before half-time. They've done fantastic. They've been the better side. They go in 0-0 at half-time. You know, they've done their bit, but you know, they find themselves behind now. They're going to have to get 2 to win.
Here are the sides again. Barnsley, Collins in goal, the back four, Cavade, Diaby, Halme and Sibic. Dougal and Mowat holding in midfield, with Chaplin just in front of them, and it's Brown and Wilkes either side of Woodrow. There was a change for Bristol City in the first half. Josh Brownhill was the player who was taken off injured, replaced by Nicholas Eliasson, so a rejig in formation as well. Bentley in goal, Moore, Williams and Callas 3 central defenders. Pereira and Eliasson now the wing backs, with Masengo, O'Dowda and Rowe in central midfield, and Vyman playing off Watkins in attack. And Bristol City have been awarded a free kick just inside the Barnsley half, and we have had heavy rain since kick-off time. It was a fairly still, mild evening since around late afternoon, but the wind has picked up and it's very difficult playing conditions for both sides as Watkins looks to gather on the edge of the penalty area for Bristol City. Gets it back from Masengo now. Now Masengo will try and open out the play and find Rowe. Rowe's ball in field, though, is quickly cut out by Dougal. And now Chaplin, who saw a first half shot turned on to the inside of a post by Dan Bentley, will try and get Barnsley moving, but it's quickly closed down, and it's a throw into Barnsley on the far side.
Yeah, I just look at Marley Watkins, Nigel, and he's given them exactly what I thought he would. He's stretched this Barnsley back line. He's prepared to run in behind. He's very positive, and it creates these little pockets for Vyman to come into and get on the ball, and it's a really good pairing. I know it's been thrown together as such because he's just come back from injury, Watkins, but they do look good together as a pair.
Marley Watkins was part of Barnsley's promotion team from League One back in 2016 when Lee Johnson chose to leave for Bristol City towards the end of that campaign, and Paul Heckinbottom led Barnsley to a EFL trophy and promotion double at Wembley as Barnsley try and move it forward on the far side there left, and they have won a throw-in, and Jacob Brown, who can hurl at some distance, will look to try and find the penalty area. Wilkes is the only red shirt there, but it's shorter towards Woodrow, who gathers it and tries a spectacular shot, right-footed, but it was always swinging away from goal from the left side of the penalty area, and it's just about a goal kick rather than a throw-in. Yeah, took a chance there. I mean, if that screams into the top corner, everybody's up on their feet, but I think a better option there, Nigel, would to just keep possession. They're in a good position there, Barnsley, in and around that Bristol City box. Wilkes is in a good position out on the right. I think if he lays that off and they keep controlled possession, they fashion a better opening than that. If Bristol City win, they'll join West Bromwich Albion on 27 points at the top of the table and leave Barnsley nailed to the bottom, along with Stoke City, who play on Monday evening, now managerless, at home to West Bromwich Albion on TalkSport 2. And it promises to be a very interesting night at the Bet365. Ashley Williams, the goal scorer for Bristol City, lofts it over the top, looking for either Vyman or Watkins, finds neither, and it's cleared downfield by Bradley Collins once again. And O'Dowda was pushed by Mowat, and it will be a free kick for Bristol City, which Taylor Moore will look to work wide to the far side. Callas sees his ball down the line on the right, quickly closed down by Woodrow, but it bobbles all the way back towards Dan Bentley, defending the Bristol City goal at the Ponty end of Oakwell, away to our right hand side. And now Watkins has been penalised for a nudge on Dougal, and Watkins has been pulled up every single time he's gone anywhere near the ball since winning that rather cheap free kick which led to the goal.
Yeah, he's definitely the pantomime villain from now on in, but you wouldn't have thought he'd just been out all that length of time.
No, first start since September of 2018. He's been around the team off the bench, but
I tell you what, he looks sharp, Nigel. He does. He really looks sharp.
But Benicophobe unlikely to play again this season as Wilkes heads into the area for Barnsley, and Famara Zizou currently out due to a suspension. And they do have some fairly difficult injury problems, Bristol City, so to be where they are is a real tribute to the work that Lee Johnson and the players have done. Now Cavani with a throw for Barnsley on this near side. He now nutmegs Eliasson and he's found Mowat. Cavani takes over again down the right hand side, bobs and weaves towards the penalty area. The cross cut out at the near post by Williams, but around the spot from where he headed the only goal, and Bristol City will clear. Now Dougal does well to turn inside the centre circle and tries to open up the play by picking out Brown on the far side, the Barnsley left. A low ball into the area. It's controlled well by Chaplin. He's now challenged by Watkins, and Watkins gets his body between Chaplin and the ball, and it spins back towards Callis, and he will clear long downfield. And Bristol City just have a look of a side here who will try and pick Barnsley off when they can. Yeah,
they just look happy to soak things up. You know, Barnsley definitely in the ascendancy, not really fashioned anything clear cut. They've got a good balance and a good shape to them, Bristol City. They look comfortable in this 3-5-2 or 5-2-3-1 or whatever you want to call it. It's a shape that gives them defensive solidity, but it allows midfield players to break forward. Up front in Watkins and Vyman, they've got two real willing runners.
Well, Bristol City have scored at least twice in 14 of their last 15 games against Barnsley, and they'll be eyeing up another goal on the breakaway here as Callis leaps high over the challenge of Mowat on the edge of the penalty area. It's one of those aerial challenges where he actually went over the player and landed on his shoulder. And he comes from quite a height, Thomas Callis, and the free kick's been given to Bristol City on the edge of the area.
Yeah, I tell you what, he didn't need that challenge, Tom Callis, after being out all that time on a cold, wet night at Barnsley. He's slowly picking himself back up to his feet. He's performed well tonight, Callis. He's got an assurity about him, as has Williams. And gingerly gets to his feet and makes his way off, but I couldn't see a free kick in that, because I don't think Mowat knew we were there, to be honest with you.
Well, Callis came over his back and then just kept on going, which is, it's a nasty one, but I don't think there was any real intent from Mowat, as the free kick is headed away by Sibic on the edge of the penalty area for Barnsley. And now Chaplin, he's challenged as he plays it forward, and it's gathered by Marley Watkins again. Now O'Dowda finding Rowe on this near side, the Bristol City left, and Eliasson caught there by Cavani, no question about that. And it's a free kick for Bristol City midway inside the Barnsley half on this near side there left.
Yeah, silly free kick to give away. And it's these little breaks in play that's stopping any momentum for Barnsley. He just needs to stay on the feet, stand up. You know, don't get wrapped up in the occasion. They've got to be more composed than that. They've been the better side. Just going to try and get a goal back quickly.
Eliasson will take the free kick, and it was his delivery which led to the opening goal. Eliasson again. This time it's headed away by Diaby at the near post. Flicked further clear by Chapman. And now a good ball from Moore. Finding Eliasson again down the left-hand side. Has Vyman in support, but Eliasson goes himself, tries to clip it into the area, and it's blocked by Cavani. And now Wilkes tries to hand off Eliasson, and then Wilkes has Eliasson in a headlock. And while all that's happening, O'Dowda tries to break into the penalty area, and his cross takes a flick off Jacob Brown and goes behind for a corner.
Yeah, he's done well since he's come on, Eliasson. Kept that alive really well. I think Wilkes tried to shield it and misjudged the bounce of the ball. He got on the ball really well there, Eliasson. He's forced the corner, but just having a good little spell here, Bristol City.
54 minutes played on TalkSport 2, Barnsley 0, Bristol City 1 the scoreline. And if Bristol City do get a second, you cannot really see a way back for Barnsley here the way the game has gone this evening. Eliasson will take the corner, and it will be an outswinger. Marley makes the run towards the near post, and it's bounced inside the penalty area, and eventually Wilkes will somehow dig the ball out with the help of Dougal, and it's cleared into Bristol City territory, but Pereira tries to work it back out wide to this near side than Eliasson, but it's Barnsley who come away with the ball, and now Wilkes with the peroxide shock of hair, tries to work it wide to this near side, and Brown, and in the end it took a deflection off a Bristol City boot, spins all the way across the field, out of play on the far side, and it's a throw-in for the home side, and Sibic and Mowat will try and cook up something down the left. Here is Halme. Now Bambo Diaby once again. Lovely shuffle of the foot from him to create the space for the shot from fully 45 yards, which was pretty optimistic and about 45 yards too high.
Well, that one goes in your wildest dreams. I mean, he struck that from fully 40 yards. It's a fantastic bit of skill to beat his man, Vyman.
Bit of a Glen Roeder shimmy, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I mean, he almost went to play wide, then dragged it back across himself, and it opened up beautifully for him, but I doubt if he's going to score from 40 yards out.
No, not on a wet Friday night in Barnsley. Here is Watkins finding Vyman on this near side. Now Eliasson once again poked on towards Watkins. It's good football this from Bristol City. Watkins continues to find Eliasson, and it was O'Dowda who was making the third man run in behind both Diaby and Cavade, but it was Cavade who just got the boot in, and it's a throw in for Bristol City on this near side. And Cavade's he's an attacking player, isn't he? So to be a full-back in a team at the bottom of the Championship, it's a difficult role both for him and the team.
Yeah, and this left-hand side has been a real strong point for Bristol City.
Now Masengo by the corner flag on this near side, and he goes to ground. No free kick was given, and there's a bit of a rugby scrum around the corner flag in front of the Bristol City supporters, and eventually it's Barnsley who are given the throw-in. And the Australian Jared Gillett is our referee here this evening in his second season in England, having transferred from the A-League. And now Eliasson, he will try and take on Cavade again, and Cavade does well to first hold up Eliasson and then just stab it out to play on this near side for a throw-in. But Bristol City pushing hard here for the second goal.
Yeah, and it's all done from a nice balance, a nice shape about about themselves. They get the wing backs forward really well, get people forward from midfield to support the front, and they're really performing well at this moment in time.
Eliasson with a cross into the penalty area. It's allowed to bounce, headed away by Sibic at the far post. The Bristol City supporters suggesting that Molly Watkins may have been held down by Diaby, but Barnsley just play it forward again, and Woodrow is all on his own. And Luke Thomas will be coming on shortly for Barnsley. And you're listening to Barnsley against Bristol City in the Championship on TalkSport 2 with Screwfix's Ticket Tuesdays. Enter the draw every Tuesday at EFL.com/Screwfix competitions to win tickets to your local EFL team. T's and C's apply. You talk about that balance, Neil, as Eliasson had to earn this near side. In contrast, Barnsley look like a team that have to work really hard to try and at least create something, never mind score.
Yeah, they're almost playing within themselves, Bristol City. If you look at Barnsley, it's like they're at 100 mile an hour to try and get things done, and they have got themselves out of shape a little bit. Malik Wilkes just coming off now for Thomas.
And Luke Thomas, the only player to score a winning goal for Barnsley this season against Fulham on the opening day. He comes on, the former Derby County man. And it's Malik Wilkes who goes off, and he's sparkled fitfully, Malik Wilkes, but no more than that.
Yeah, he doesn't look 100% fit, to be honest with you, but he's definitely looked dangerous.
Cavade's long throw flicked on by Halme inside the area. Woodrow tries to turn, and then the shot fired in at the far post. It was Thomas's first touch, and it was Pereira who was in the way as Barnsley appealed for a penalty. And now Thomas, has he been hauled down by Pereira? He was, and it's a free kick level with the edge of the penalty area, taken quickly. Here is Chaplin now, low across the penalty area, looking for the run of Woodrow, and Bristol City will clear.
Yeah, good spell by Barnsley. A couple of challenges there in the box, Nigel, that looked a bit dubious, to be honest with you. The referee played on. He's got a better sight than us from his position there in the centre of the pitch, but Barnsley really pushing now, looking for that equaliser.
But it's got the crowd involved again, and the home team need that. And the coach, or the standing coach, Adam Murray, just indicating to his side that maybe a change in formation, possibly 3-4-3, which is what we thought they may start with. Cavade pushed a bit further forward. He'll be on one side, and the question is who goes on the other.
Yeah, well, it's looking like Thomas at the minute. He's been angling around that area, but
The Bristol City clear, and Diaby has been isolated by Vyman, and Bradley Collins does well to come all the way out towards the edge of the centre circle and clear downfield, but it was up rather than away. But in the end, Barnsley get the job done, and Vyman can't keep a ball forward from Eliasson in play on this near side, and it will be a throw in to Barnsley. But they are living on their nerves a bit, the side who are bottom of the Championship. As they push for this equalising goal, they're looking increasingly vulnerable at the other end, with an hour played on TalkSport 2 at Oakwell. Wigan against Swansea from the Championship coming up at 12:30 tomorrow, with Mark Wilson at the DW Stadium. Then Motti alongside Russ Williams will bring you Arsenal against Wolves from the Premier League at 3 o'clock, with a full-time phone-in to come with Adrian Durham at 5. Over on TalkSport, Rashman Chowdhury and Sam Matterface have Bournemouth against Manchester City, live from the South Coast at 12:30. Watford against Chelsea with Laura Woods and Clive Tilsley at 5:30, and in between those two games, Game Day Live with Adrian Durham, all the goals as they go in. Now Brown trying his luck on this near side, the right for Barnsley, closes down Ashley Williams, and it will be a throw into Bristol City by the corner flag on this near side.
I tell you what, Nigel, he's been brilliant, Ashley Williams, tonight. Just that little bit of play there. He's come from his central position. He's read that little give and go with Brown superbly well. And he just covers across, keeps his composure. He actually plays the clearance against Brown, wins Bristol the throw. Such an experienced campaigner.
And at the age of 35, he's almost discovered a new lease of life at Bristol City.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's been outstanding tonight. He's been the game's best player for me.
And he scored the only goal so far, as Diaby dabs it wide to this near side, and Cavani for Barnsley, who may appreciate a role further forward. A clearance from Bristol City breaks out towards Thomas. Thomas, though, losing out to Masengo, and the 18-year-old's done really well to just bring some calmness to the Bristol City midfield at times. Now Vyman will chase a long ball forward, but Diaby gets there first, and it's back towards Collins, who clears downfield up towards the halfway line. It's allowed to bounce by Cavani. Brown heads it in field. Chaplin goes in hard on Taylor Moore, but doesn't win the ball, and it's dug out by Bristol City again. And a long ball forward by Moore onto the chest of Halme, and the Finn clears long downfield, and Woodrow running the channels again, and it's out of play for a goal kick. And I don't think Corley Woodrow has had a touch anywhere near the goal so far.
No, he's not. I mean, he's worked tirelessly. He's trying to make little angles, and he's trying to get down the sides and make runs. I mean, that was a good run there, and it's not a bad ball from Halme. It just skips on the wet surface out for a goal kick. But there just looks, I don't know if it's me, but there looks a little bit of a desperation about Barnsley. You know, and you look at Bristol City, and they're playing from within themselves, within the shape. They've got a good shape. They're measured. You know, I know Barnsley behind, so they've got to have a little bit of desperation in the play. They've got to try and get themselves back in it. But it's just calling for a little bit of composure at this point, because, you know, I think if they take a little bit more time in possession, knit the passes together, see if they can connect 2 or 3 passes, they might fashion themselves a good opening.
Here is Dougal over the top looking for Brown. It's a touch in field looking for either Chapman or Woodrow, but he finds neither of them, and Eliasson regathers for Bristol City. A pirouette from Taylor Moore on this near side as the rain begins to drip into our commentary position once again. Now O'Dowda find Watkins down the left hand side. It's been a good battle between himself and Bambo Diaby, but it's the Bristol City man who wins on this occasion. O'Dowda then believes he was fouled by Mowat, nothing given though, and then clearly a push by Moore on Brown on this near side, and Barnsley have a throw in, and the Barnsley player looks to try and get the ball back quickly. It was Chapman, and he goes right into the Bristol City dugout to win the ball back, and a couple of members of Lee Johnson's coaching team didn't appreciate that.
No, it's just starting to get a little bit heated.
Bit of posturing mainly.
Yeah, it is. But they're trying to get themselves back in it, Barnsley, so you can understand their frustration. You know, and I think the bench has got to be really careful here.
Well, the fourth official, Carl Boyson, is pulling the referee Jarrod Gillett towards this near side just to have a word about something which went on there. And the yellow card is out, and I think it's shown collectively to the Bristol City bench.
Who's claiming that one? I think it's I'm not sure, to be honest.
Well, Scott Murray was in there, but I don't think it was him.
No.
There's a lot of shrugging of shoulders going on as well.
Well, it can't be the gaffer because he's sat behind us.
No, he's sat behind us. He's already been done, hasn't he? So, free kick from Diaby, high up towards the edge of the penalty area. Woodrow does well to nod it down, and now Chaplin will fire a shot in left-footed. It's blocked inside the box, and Masengo will clear only as far as Mowat. He drives forward now, and his left-footed shot is high into the Ponty end.
But you see that little bit of composure there from Thomas, Nigel. That's the sort of stuff that Barnsley need. You know, he shaped himself to shoot, opened up on his left foot, dragged it back, and he created a far better chance for Chaplin, and that's a good strike that's blocked. But that little bit of composure, that's what they need now, Barnsley, in the final third.
I feel sorry for, in many ways, for Cauley Woodrow. People will say he's not scored and not looked like scoring, but where's the service?
Oh, he's worked his socks off. He's absolutely worked his socks off. I mean, he's ran the channels, he's tried to hold the ball up. He's been a little bit isolated up there when they played the 4-3-3, if you like, as such, but...
Now Sibic will have to clear for Barnsley on the far side, but he's pressurised by Watkins as he does so, and Masengo will just allow the ball to dribble out of play. Barnsley convinced they should have had the throw-in, but it's Bristol City with the opportunity to attack once again. And we welcome listeners to Talk Sport, to Oakwell once again, joining us here on Talk Sport 2, where Bristol City lead Barnsley by 1-0. Ashley Williams with the only goal 90 seconds before half-time. It was a controversial free kick awarded for a challenge on the former Barnsley player Marley Watkins, taken by Nicholas Eliasson and headed into an empty net by Ashley Williams to score his first goal for Bristol City. And Barnsley have huffed and puffed since then, but they're finding it very difficult to break down a resolute Bristol City team. But it's Barnsley coming forward now. It's Woodrow with a burst into the penalty area, right-hand side, just forced wide, and he's challenged by Ashley Williams, appeals for a penalty as Williams clears the ball, and Williams has gone over the top of the advertising hoardings and he's clattered into the area around the side of the pitch, and there's some real concern here about the veteran defender, Neil Redford.
Yeah, what a fantastic bit of defending. I mean, he bounced up and got to his feet. No nonsense defending. It's a great ball from Alex Mowat to find Woodrow, and it's just a little bit heavy because it skips off the surface, but again, it's that man Williams reads it, gets across, and they both collide and tumble over the boardings round the edge, and it's a nasty fall by Williams, but full credit to the veteran. He's back on his feet and he's back picking up.
Alex Mowat will take the corner for Barnsley, and it will be an in-swinger towards that 6-yard area once again. Halme with the header, and it's over the top. And this week on TalkSport 2 we'll bring you Arsenal against Wolves in the Premier League with Motti tomorrow, as well as live Championship and NFL coverage. And a reminder, England's cricket tour of South Africa is exclusive to TalkSport 2, and that starts on Boxing Day. You can download the app, swipe left to the orange TalkSport 2 logo, and also hit play. Barnsley have another corner on this near side. Mowat again, a deeper one this time, fisted away by Bentley up towards the edge of the penalty area. And you can listen online on your DAB radio or ask your smart speaker to play TalkSport 2 as Brad Collins, the Chelsea loanee in goal for Barnsley, clears up towards the halfway line. Barnsley look to clear it. Now they've given the ball away, but Mowat with an excellent recovery challenge. It was Diaby with the error, and Eliasson was almost away for Bristol City. If they win this game, Bristol City, they will move level on points with West Bromwich Albion at the top of the table and leave Barnsley nailed firmly to the bottom. The conclusion of this game live over on TalkSport 2, but at the moment, with 68 minutes played, it's Barnsley 0, Bristol City 1. Pereira coming forward now for Bristol City on the far side. Sibic holds him up with the initial challenge, and then a throw-in is won by Pereira on the far side as the rain continues to sweep in towards us here at Oakwell.
Yeah, good defending by Sibic. Stood up well, didn't dive in, then got the pinch.
And now a high ball into the area from Rowe at the far post, headed away by Cavade. O'Dowda will regather for Bristol City down the left. He's got Eliasson in support, but he comes in field, right-footed shot. It's into the body of Vyman, his teammate. It was goal-bound, and it ricochets kindly into the gloves of Collins.
Yeah, great save in the end. Needed to. Good strike.
Now Watkins chasing on this near side, but Bambo Diaby, the Spaniard, plays it back towards Collins, who then turns away in disgust as his clearance is sliced towards this near side. Here is Masengo. Good ball from him, wide to the far side, and Pereira, the 18-year-old, has got some real composure in possession. Now Pereira again comes in field, but it's Thomas who robs him to win the ball back, but it's Masengo who gets across to slide in, and he's quickly followed by Rowe and Bristol City with 2 or 3 very meaty challenges, but it's Barnsley who come away with the ball. Here is Woodrow now inside the centre circle, tries to pick out Brown to the left, but it's Pereira who clears away, and Weimann now is onside into the area down the right hand side. Watkins waits in the centre, and there's a couple of ricochets as the cross pings around the area, and eventually it's guided behind by Halme for a corner.
Yeah, they've just lost the shape a little bit at the back. It's got a little bit heated, the game. Barnsley losing the shape at the back, and Bristol City breaking really, really well into them positions. Watkins looking to pull the ball back for Weimann looking to pull the ball back for Watkins. Barnsley managed to scramble it clear.
And Eliasson will take the corner on the far side, and we have played 70 minutes here, and there will be changes to both teams following this set piece. Eliasson's delivery flicked on by Weimann at the near post, and it's in, and it's a second for Bristol City, and that will surely take them joint top of the championship and leave Barnsley firmly on the bottom. It is very harsh on Barnsley, but then again, this season has been very harsh on Barnsley, and Bristol City lead 2-0.
Yeah, again, it's from a cross, it's from a set piece. It's too easy. Conceded from 2 corners now, or a free kick in a corner, Barnsley. And you've got to pick up, you've got to mark people. And it's a free header. It's a good header. Goes into the far corner, but you've got to pick people up in the box.
Change is now being made, and there's a double change for Bristol City in the light of that second goal. And it's Taylor Moore who comes off, and Nathan Baker will come on. Just to give you an indication of the strength of the Bristol City bench, Nathan Baker and Bailey Wright, 2 of the players available. Taylor Moore's done well though, some very important blocks. And the other player to come on will be Antoine Semenyo.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Moore.
Watkins, the player to come off.
Been impressed with Moore, Nigel. Very combative.
Yeah.
Played well. He blends in really well with Callis and Williams at the back.
Watkins makes a real point of applauding the Bristol City supporters and ignoring the boos as he comes off, and Semenyo will come on, and Patrick Schmidt, the young Austrian, will come on for Barnsley, and it's Connor Chaplin who goes off.
Yeah, he's done okay, Chaplin. I think he's buzzed about. It's a presence in both boxes, Nigel. I think that's the problem for Barnsley. You know, they're definitely not diligent picking up defending corners and set plays, and going forward they huff and puff, but just don't have any luck in front of goal, and it's a really potent combination.
Well, sack the board is the chant from the Barnsley supporters, which you often get in situations like this without a manager, and this will be 14 matches without a win. Cavani with a long throw into the penalty area, headed away as far as Dougal, and now Thomas. And Barnsley have had their chances, particularly in the first half when Connor Chaplin's shot was turned on to the inside of the post by Bentley, and as Barnsley tried to work the ball away on the right hand side, they run it out of play themselves, and it will be a throw-in. I'm just going to talk about the performance of Hanno and Masengo before that goal.
Yeah.
You learn a lot about a player when on a wet and windy night in Barnsley he's careering into challenges when you're about 5'3".
Well, what's impressed me about him is he's competed and got his foot in it. He's done the ugly stuff, and he's shown real composure. He's got real quality in possession.
Now Thomas for Barnsley down the right, a low cross in, cleared away initially, back towards Brown, but it's Tommy Rowe who did well to clear initially. Then second time of asking just finds the halfway line. Barnsley 0, Bristol City 2 on TalkSport 2, the home of the EFL. Now Woodrow, right-footed shot from him on the turn from the edge of the area, and it's high over the top once again. I mean, Masengo's got real quality on the ball, we've seen that,
yeah,
but it's that competitive edge. I mean, there's nothing of him But if he's doing that at 18, when he's got more experience and maybe a bit more physical stature, he looks a real player.
Well, if you look at him, he looks young. He looks slim. He's not much about him, but anything that's dropped 50-50, he's not shirked. He's gone in. He's got his foot in. But the stuff that's impressed me is his awareness in tight areas. He's picked balls up and played little give and goes and got out of situations really, really well. And he's got a real range to his passing. And I think that's it's a real fantastic thing for a young player to have, because he's definitely a big plus for Bristol City in that midfield position.
Well, I saw him play for Monaco in the Champions League last season when Thierry Henry basically threw in the kids due to injury problems and poor form elsewhere. And while Monaco were getting hammered, relatively speaking, he did okay as a 17-year-old. Started the season in the youth team and ended up playing in the first team.
Well, as daft as it seems, that adversity, shining in that adversity, will have done him good.
Now Semenyo on the far side, just runs it out to play for a throw-in. Semenyo's another player who picked up experience at the other end of the scale last season with respect to them, playing on loan at Newport in League Two, but did really well for Mike Flynn's side. And we have 14 minutes to play at Oakwell, and one or two home fans already beginning to leave, with Bristol City leading here by 2-0. And what will annoy Adam Murray is, as you said, a free kick and a corner, and a near post header at a corner.
Yeah,
and they absolutely, you work on the training ground, when that happens, it just really not just ruins your weekend, it ruins everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, they're the stuff that you nail down, through the week, that you've picked up, that you're organised, that you're switched on from set plays, that you don't let people get free. It starts with your goalkeeper as well. He's facing everything. He's got to organise and push people in place.
Now a shot inside the area from Woodrow, wide on the left-hand side, which balloons away off Callas behind for a corner. And it's significant that Woodrow's shots have either been from 35 yards or in the left wing position.
Yeah, he's had little support, to be fair to the lad.
76 minutes played. The corner is headed into the net, and Barnsley are back in the game, and it's Apo Halme, the Finn, with his first goal for Barnsley. And just when we were writing them off, it is Barnsley 1, Bristol City 2.
Well, we're just berating Barnsley for not picking up at set players, and I don't know what Bristol City were doing there, but he's completely free there, Apo Halme. It's a great header. Times it really well, glances it back across from that near post position, gives the keeper absolutely no chance, but it's game on again.
Apo Halme, the player signed from Leeds United. He was given opportunities by Bielsa last season, and not too many of them, but Barnsley now have hope in this game when it seemed to have slipped away. Now O'Dowda back towards Baker for Bristol City, a high ball down the channel left-hand side, and Vyman unable to gather. You're listening to Barnsley against Bristol City in the Championship on TalkSport 2 with Screw Fixes. Ticket Tuesdays, enter the draw every Tuesday at EFL.com/Screwfix competitions to win tickets to your local EFL team. T's and C's apply. Now Cavani for Barnsley, and he nutmegs Eliasson, not for the first time, but only finds Baker. And here is Semenyo for Bristol City, and it's Baker charging forward as the second striker, and he forces Diaby to slide in on his backside on this near side and bullet the ball out of play for a throw into Bristol City.
Yeah, he's been a real soldier at the back for Barnsley tonight. Diaby got through some ground, covered some defenders on his team, had some really good challenges.
Baker will take the throw in for Bristol City. Now Masengo back towards Baker again. Masengo must be offside as he gathers the ball on the touchline, and the flag goes up.
Interesting there. I just looked at Tom Callas throwing his arms up in despair. It's a really silly silly pass to play when he's obviously offside.
Everybody does it though, don't they?
They do.
Do they think they're not going to notice?
Well, no, exactly.
12 minutes to play. Barnsley 1, Bristol City 2. It's been a really good game in many ways. We've seen Bristol City's quality on the break, and we've seen Barnsley's belligerence, just a lack of composure when it's really mattered. But it's a young team trying to find their feet in a very harsh environment.
I tell you what it does, anybody looking in it, what it does do for you is a real spirit about them. Barnsley.
Here is Halme charging forward now, fancies another. and his shot was blocked by Rowe, and Semenyo can bring it clear for Bristol City, and Barnsley here can be caught out every time Bristol City move forward now on the break, but Vyman is closed down by Mowat, and it's Callis who plays it forward. Semenyo clips it into the path of O'Dowda, and it's wide to the far side in Pereira, and it's Masengo once again as the rain becomes torrential here. Masengo back towards Pereira, who cuts in field towards the edge of the penalty area. Now Pereira once again, and O'Dowda has gone down as he was challenged off the ball there by Dougal. Dougal also went down, and Pereira actually heads towards the corner flag and has won a throw-in in the end.
Yeah, just a little bit of a coming together, to be fair. He's done okay tonight, Dougal. He grafts, he fills that midfield position, he competes, keeps things simple.
Elliot Simões, Portuguese born player, will be coming on shortly for Barnsley. Here is Semenyo inside the area, but he's crowded out and Barnsley will clear. Thomas doesn't find halfway. Here is Rowe. Now Pereira finds Semenyo, and O'Dowda will try and break into the area. It comes back towards Semenyo. His shot was blocked though. Vyman tries to recover it, but now Woodrow brings it clear for Barnsley. Wide on the far side is Thomas. There's a poor ball in field, asking too much of Mowat, and it's Rowe who slides in to just lunge and play it out of play. It will be a throw-in, but not before Barnsley make a change, and it's Brown who comes off and Elliot Simões who comes on.
Yeah, I think there's quite high hopes at the club for this kid. Brown coming off. Brown's played well tonight. He just lulled a little bit last 15 minutes, but he's had a good game, Brown. But good opportunity for Soames in Osh.
Signed from FC United of Manchester. Made his debut in the 1-1 draw here against Swansea. Now Mowat. Right to the far side, and Sibic. It's a high hanging cross, and Bentley just for a second thought he might have to retreat and turn the ball over the top, but it was too high for that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a waste really. He's played quite well as well, Sibic, at left back, but
he's another young player signed from AFC Wimbledon. I saw him score against West Ham in the FA Cup last season, but it's a massive gap from the bottom of League One where he was to try and compete here.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's not let himself down tonight. He's not looked out of place. He's competed well. He's used the ball well. I mean, he's slotted in 2 or 3 positions when I've seen him in different games this season. And they're only going to benefit from this. They just need to hang on in there this season. If they can keep the championship status, these young players will be far better for the experience.
And the one thing in Barnsley's favour is they are not adrift.
Oh no, absolutely.
They have 8 points. They are level on points with Stoke, who play West Brom live on TalkSport 2 on Monday night. They've got Stoke here next week in the real bargain basement battle. But as Huddersfield have shown, if you get a few results together, you can make progress. As a challenge goes in on the far side, it's a free kick for Bristol City, and there's plenty of pushing and shoving going on. It was Masengo who was caught, and the visiting players didn't appreciate the ferocity of that challenge.
Yeah, it looked a little bit over the top, the challenge from here, and when the distance it's over the far side. Referee's going to have to sort this out.
Jarrah Gillett has had a busy evening at times. It was right in front of his assistant, and he's trying to get everybody away from the play. I think it was Luke Thomas he's checking if Masengo's okay. And what will the referee do here?
Yeah, I mean, the letter of the law says if it's so reckless, then
it's a yellow card for Thomas.
Yeah, I think that's a sensible approach. I don't think there's been any malicious challenges in this game, to be fair, Nigel. I think it's been competed really well, and I think both teams have got to take credit for that.
The wind picks up once again, and it's a night when myself and Neil both need windscreen wipers in our glasses, as we have to keep taking them off and wiping them.
I can hear you, but I can't see. I'm steaming up.
I could take the glasses off, but I'll just see a selection of red and black smudges if I do, which wouldn't really benefit the listeners, or well, maybe it would. Bentley clears downfield. 7 minutes to play at Oakwell on TalkSport 2. Barnsley 1, Bristol City 2. And Lee Johnson's team being made to work hard here to join West Bromwich Albion at the top of the table. Barnsley once again, and not giving anybody an easy game. Of course, Daniel Stendel was relieved of his duties after a 5-1 loss at Preston, but that's a rarity because they've had defeats clearly, but they've been narrow defeats.
Oh yeah, there's been nothing in most of the games. I mean, they're in this tonight. I mean, they were the better side first half, I would have said. I think it's balanced out a little bit second half, but they're definitely still in this.
And they're coming forward now with Thomas down the left-hand side. A high cross in. Woodrow was looking to challenge the goalkeeper, but Bentley had a very good starting position, and he was up in the air before Woodrow got anywhere near him.
Yeah, good goalkeeping, to be fair. As that ball comes in the box, that's what you want to see as a centre-back. Your goalkeeper coming commanding this 6-yard box.
Cleared downfield by Bentley once again. And it's O'Dowda looking to charge right down the centre. Outstanding run from Callum O'Dowda, and he continues. He eventually goes down. Well, I think if he'd gone down for the previous challenge, he would have got a penalty, but he stayed on his feet and then tried to manufacture the contact, and the referee waves away the appeals.
Yeah, he got that spot on, the ref, to be fair. It's a great run by O'Dowda. It's a great run. And as soon as you enter the box, the Barnsley defenders are frightened to death, and he made the most of that.
Now Dougal, high ball forward for Barnsley, but the Australian can't pick out a teammate. Simoresh now alongside Woodrow. Eliasson at the other end now, looking to break for Bristol City down the left. He's isolated Cavade, has Masengo in field. Masengo tricks in field onto his right foot. And he continues, the youngster, looking for options, but he's got the confidence to keep his head up and also maintain possession, which is not always a quality we see in the Championship 5 minutes before the end when you're winning 2-1 away from home.
No, brilliant play, because he got absolutely no support there whatsoever.
Now Eliasson chasing forward, and he's onside on the byline. He challenges Cavade, and Cavade dumps him into the advertising hoardings, and the referee waves play on, and he clears downfield. Headed forward again though by Rowe for Bristol City, but here is Mowat wide to the far side. Thomas was waiting for the ball, and Pereira got there first, and the home side have a throw-in.
Yeah, I think Mowat was just looking for a little bit of movement off Thomas there. Made it easy for the defender just to stand up against him.
12,128 the crowd here this evening, the lowest of the season. Cavade, high ball forward again for Barnsley, headed away as far as Dougal, who tries to thread it through. Now Woodrow with a shot, right-footed, which was deflected, and it rears up kindly into the arms of Bentley.
Yeah, I think that's one of his only clear sights of goal there, Woodrow.
In a central area, certainly.
Absolutely, he took the shot early, to be fair to him. It's half deflected, which made it easy for the keeper, Bentley, to come and gather.
The 500 or so Bristol City fans here urging their team on to what would be ultimately a hard-fought victory. Semenyo tries to head towards the corner flag on this near side, and the ball clearly went out of play, and again the assistant on this near side has his flag up and from 60 yards away has given Barnsley the throw-in, and it was Bristol City's ball, but he did not have a clue.
No.
He's guessed.
Yeah, it is. It's all guesswork, to be honest with you.
And I can understand why Semenyo's annoyed, because he knows.
Well, absolutely. And know what happens now, Nigel? The players get heated because of it.
Well, the Bristol City bench was absolutely fuming. Not for the first time, but... well... Woodrow now wins a long ball above Williams, and the clearance from Rowe goes back towards Woodrow, but Williams again with an excellent challenge. And now Semenyo will chase on this near side, and he's offside, only just inside the Barnsley half, so they have a free kick here in a decent area as time begins to run out.
Yeah, he's going to have to use all his experience now in these closing moments, Williams in the middle at the back, because he's starting to turn the heat up a little bit, Barnsley.
2 minutes to play. Bristol City lead 2-1. Collins with the free kick, swirls it high to the far side. Woodrow has won the header, and now Thomas has the opportunity to attack Pereira. He's got support from Vyman. It's back towards Sibic, and now Thomas again. Barnsley here need to deliver. Thomas will try and hit towards the byline, and he's done well, cross into the area, and Bentley was nowhere, and it's headed away by Baker towards the far side. Sibic does well to win the ball and bring it down quickly. Now Thomas again, a driven cross in, deflected behind for a corner.
Two great bits of work by Thomas. The initial cross is fantastic, and obviously Bentley can't come for that, and it's cleared, but good persistence by little Thomas on the left.
And Bristol City really hanging on here, and the Barnsley supporters all on their feet behind that goal. The corner from Mowat, an outswinger. Sibic was underneath it, but both he and Cavade allowed the ball to bounce. Now an opportunity for Samoash to find Sibic. His cross was closed down by Callas, and it will be a throw-in.
Yeah, I think the disappointment there from the Barnsley fans was that...
After you, Claude.
Yeah, both Barnsley players left it for one another.
But Cavade will now try and take the long throw-in as we head towards the final 30 seconds of normal time. And play is stopped by Jared Gillett. And he's just sorting out one or two things inside the area. Bristol City here really showing signs of anxiety as they hold on to their lead. Cavade's long throw flat towards the near post. It's flicked on. Thomas will try and fire the shot in, but it's cleared away by Rowe up to the halfway line. Mowat heads it forward again. There's chaos on the edge of the area. Here is Thomas now. Good ball from him. Wide towards Cavade. The cross into the box, and in the end the shot from Diaby was miskicked, and it's into the arms of Bentley as we head into 4 minutes of added time.
Great chance. That's a great chance. Good bit of play as well. Good cutback. To be honest with you, you've got to be hitting the target there, making the keeper work, and it ends up just bobbling into Bentley's arms. They were panicking there a little bit, Bristol.
Now it's cleared downfield, looking for Eliasson, but Barnsley will get the ball back, and they still have time here. Extremely unlikely they'll end their search for a victory, but there is still a point to be won as Woodrow tries to flick the ball on, and he's found Thomas down the left-hand side. Sibic coming forward on the overlap. It's infield again, though, towards Mowat on the edge of the area. Back out towards Thomas again. Sibic continues to provide the width on the edge of the penalty area. Checks back onto his right foot. The home crowd want the ball delivered in, and now Mowat will find Thomas again. A low cross in, deflected behind into the side netting, and it's a corner.
Yeah, wobbling here, Bristol City. They're finding it really difficult to manage these final minutes. It's Barnsley that's in the ascendancy. They just need a little bit more quality now from this corner, and they need somebody to go and get on the end of it and go and attack it.
We've had 3 set-piece goals this evening. Can Barnsley provide another? Mowat will take the corner once again. It's an outswinger. Bentley fists away inside the area. Doesn't get a free kick as he goes to ground. Mowat will regather. Burst into the penalty area. High towards the far post, and Diaby heads over the top. 2 yards out. He was stretching, and he couldn't keep the header down.
Yeah, just got underneath it a little bit, Diaby. It's a great little ball from Mowat, the far post. Saw the big centre half coming right round the back. Just struggling with cramp a little bit now, Diaby. It doesn't surprise me. He's really put himself on the line today for the club. And he's not going back to his centre-back position. He's staying up front for these last minutes. See if Barnsley can get another ball in the box for him to go and attack.
Dramatic finish here on TalkSport 2 at Oakwell. Barnsley 1, Bristol City 2. And this really epitomises everything about the Championship. 2 sides at either end of the table, but there has been nothing in it for so much of the game. And it's Barnsley coming forward again now with Woodrow. He's found Sumaresh inside the area, but the teenager just unable to check back in field. But sliding in was Dougal to make the challenge, and the ball spins away on the near side, and Bristol City have the throw-in.
Well, it's not a lack of effort from these Barnsley players. Definitely, they've put everything into this, and they're really stretching Bristol City, and they're taking them right to the wire. They're hanging on here, Bristol.
90 seconds of the 4 minutes to play. Baker taking his time over the throw-in, and I'm sure that time will be added on. It's allowed to bounce, and then Halme just launches it towards the edge of the area once again, and Tommy Rowe's header heads into the unoccupied seats behind the Barnsley dugout. Adam Murray almost prepared to be a ball boy there, but it's one of the stewards who throws it back, and Cavade, you can be sure, will just launch it.
Yeah, and he's got a long throw on him. You know, it's a real test for Bristol City here. Test of their credentials as...
Well, he's gone short towards Collins. Collins now with a high ball lofted towards the edge of the penalty area. Diaby challenging. It's out as far as Dougal, and now Thomas down the left-hand side. Mowat comes in field, tries to thread the ball in field again, but it's Masengo who tries to clear, but Barnsley win it back, and they have bodies all around the penalty area. They work the 1-2. Simaresh with the ball, and it's deflected, and it's scrambled in, and Barnsley have the equaliser. 4 minutes into added time. Corley Woodrow sparks delirium all all around Oakwell. They may be bottom of the table, but there is no lack of spirit, and Bristol City have blown their hopes of joining West Bromwich Albion right at the top. They were 2-0 up, and in the 94th minute it is 2-2.
What real spirit from Barnsley. It's no more than they deserve, to be honest with you. They've made all the running in this final 20 minutes, and it's a great finish. Just what they needed. A real shot in the arm for the players and the supporters.
Bristol City have managed the game shockingly in the last 10 minutes or so.
They have. I mean, they've not defended well at all, and you know, for a side that's up there, you'd think they'd be far more thorough than that.
Well, Lee Johnson sat behind us, grim-faced. They had the game won, 2-0 up against the side bottom of the league. That's the full-time whistle. It is finished 2-2, and all the credit goes to Barnsley. Their wait for a victory goes on, but this will feel like a victory. Corley Woodrow embraces with Elliot Simoresh inside the centre circle, and the Bristol City players look absolutely devastated. 2 goals up as we headed into the closing stages, and somehow they have contrived not to win the game. At Oakwell, drama all the way, as ever in the Championship on TalkSport 2. It is finished. Barnsley 2, Bristol City 2.